Hello, everyone. We are live via YouTube. My name is Mike the Business, and I got Tony the Machine over here. Let's see if I can do the Wolfpack thing over here. This is ARMBAR, the ARMBAR podcast, and we have such a huge following in the Rio Grande Valley here in Texas, McAllen, Texas, to be specific. But this is our podcast. And we do this show weekly for one of our local radio stations. It's called KCYP, and it's on 97.7 FM if you are a local and you are watching this down here. And we usually air every Thursday night at 9:30. But I think this week we are actually airing at 10:30, if I'm not correct. No, 10:30 actually. He said 10:30. My program director, Chris, told me that we would be airing at 10:30, possibly 11. Depending on the Geek Slap, which is the show that's going on before us this week. So shout outs to the Geek Slap. But this is just our YouTube podcast so far. We haven't actually started the recording of our actual podcast. But if you guys are first-time watchers, I always like to give a little introduction. ARMBAR Radio is basically, comprised of me, Tony. We're missing a few of our other guys. Isaac Ruiz, we call him the architect, and Jay, Mr. Wrestlepedia Ochoa, because he just is filled with facts and information about wrestling that no one else here might know.
Exactly, and if you guys want, we have a photo of them, all four of them. If you guys
right here, I don't know if you guys can.
Now, Jay would be the.
Here, let me put this closer. There you go. They can see it now.
Isaac's the real skinny guy, standing next to me, here. And then the other guy, the big fella right there, that's Jay. So that's Jay, Mr. Wrestlepedia.
And I'm that sexy dude right there in the middle.
All you ladies out there, this guy's single, just to let you know.
LOL.
LOL.
LOL, guys. But I don't know, anything you want to add to him before we get to the actual recording? We've got 2 viewers going on right now.
Boy, we have a lot of material to talk about.
Too much to talk about this week.
Unfortunately, I'm wearing his shirt right now. You can see it's
Roman
Reigns, the Roman Empire. Yes, we probably have a lot of haters right now hating on me because I'm wearing his shirt. But he's also going to be a topic about this episode.
Probably one of the closing. Oh, he's going to be introduced, but one of the main closing topics.
Exactly. So I'm sure everybody heard about it earlier today, but we're going to reveal it again. So we'll cover that. We're going to talk about Money in the Bank and Raw. So,
I am my buddy over here, Mr. NU Demon 01, aka Carlos. I'm trying to get him to call in later on for the show. So, if any of you guys want to make a call in to the show, either tweet at us or we can you can message our Facebook page, and then from there we'll give you one of our personal phone numbers, obviously, or something like that. Yeah, maybe, but we're not going to give it out here live. So you actually have to directly message us, otherwise we won't allow you to call in.
Yes.
But just for reference, if anyone is ever interested in calling into the show, you can message our Facebook page and we'll go from there. Okay. But anywho, I guess let's get this going, Tony. No worries, sir. And who's going to start the show off this week? It's going to be me. It's going to be you.
I think it was me last time. It's your turn.
All right, my turn. I'm going to be a little stutter. I guess I'll count myself down this week.
I'll do it. No, the only way you have control of it.
I mean, I'm going to control it, but you can give me the countdown anyway. Ready?
I'm ready here. Let's do it.
Okay, I'm going to count myself down, and I'll get it going, okay? Ready on 5, 4, 3, 2. Hello, everyone. This is Mike the Business, and here I have Mr. Tony the Machine Matuk, and this is ARMBAR Radio, your only wrestling radio talk show here on 97.7 FM, the city here in Mission McAllen. And we have a lot to talk about today, huh, Tony?
Yes, we do. ARMBAR fans, we have plenty to talk about, from Money in the Bank and Raw.
Monday Night Raw, and some recent
breaking news.
Some recent suspensions that we will get into. Just for a friendly reminder to any of you guys listening to us out there on the radio live here on 97.7 FM, the city, there are a couple ways to listen to us. So if you're not listening to us here on the station live on the radio, because we are live right now, Basically, you can actually go to our Facebook page, and from there we actually post up YouTube links to our YouTube channel, so you can actually rewatch our podcast live. So usually we do it in one of our, our houses or apartments, etc. And then I give I edit the audio and I pass it over to the guys at the station, who are very nice enough to actually re-air it for us, several days out of the week. So shout outs to the station for doing that always. And let's get this going. So I want to talk about Money in the Bank, Tony, all right? And I guess we can get into the pre-show a little bit, right, before we move on to the main segment, which is going to be the match everyone wants to hear about, Seth Rollins versus Roman Reigns for the WWE Championship. But let's go to the pre-show. Let's talk about people that, don't really get a lot of, airtime, especially on Raw or SmackDown. But, we still want to give them credit for even being on the show to begin with.
Definitely.
So we have the Golden Truth versus Breezango. That's what they call themselves, Breezango. I don't know what to think there.
Well, meanwhile, they were about to get some tanning done, I believe, and so Goldust and R-Truth, they play a little trick on them by raising up the temperature of the tanning beds. Mm-hmm. And a few minutes later, what happens, Mike? They are
I don't know what happened.
They're pretty much burnt to a crisp.
But yes, if you guys watched the show, if you guys watched Money in the Bank, you'll see that Tyler Breeze and I was gonna say Breeze Dango. It's Fandango. Excuse me, Fandango. Fandango. Basically, they had really bad skin peeling going on there, I guess, and I guess they were left into the tanning bed too long, and their skin was just peeling and it looked really nasty. Now you have to give the people backstage, whoever did their makeup or whatever, to make it look like that. They did a great job. I think that was very fun to watch, and it was just hilarious. I don't know. I think the Golden Truth or Goldust and R-Truth are just. They're not really a tag team that's, in the main title hunt right now. It's just more of a comical thing for them right now. Seeing that, R-Truth and, Goldust are pretty much past their prime in their careers already. So, they're there just to entertain us now. And, I'm glad to see stuff like that.
They got the first win.
They won, yeah.
They finally got the first win as a team.
Yep, they won as a tag team. So going forward from there, let's talk about the Lucha Dragons versus the Dudley Boys. This is another pre-show match. Lucha. No? Okay. So.
Hey, I was getting in the groove for it.
Let's just say, I don't know, we'll just go really quick on this one. The Lucha Dragons defeat the Dudley Boys, which was pretty much, kind of a squash match. I guess the Dudley Boys put over the Lucha Dragons pretty good here. Any comments on that, Tony?
The Lucha Dragons put the Dudley Boys over? Did they?
No, the Dudley Boys put the Lucha Dragons over.
Oh, they did put them over. Yes. Okay, so Lucha Dragons get the win.
Get the win, yeah.
Yes.
It's an okay match. I mean, I'm still, I like Kalisto. I'm not too much of a Sin Cara fan anymore. Just because, I thought his gimmick was cool at first.
Well, he's not really Sin Cara.
Yeah, when it was the real Sin Cara, right? But now, now that we know it's, can't even say the guy's name, Kulo or something like that. Is that even a bad word? I don't even know.
No, yeah. You're not intentionally trying to say it.
Yeah, but anyway, I meant Coolio. There you go. But anyway, basically, he was a former wrestler. Unico, there you go. Unico, that's what I was going for. So Unico is actually the current Sin Cara. If you guys don't follow wrestling, the real Sin Cara went back to the Mexican wrestling.
He went to AAA, I believe.
AAA, and he's doing it there. So I mean, big chops to them for actually winning the match. I mean, I know since Kalisto lost the U.S. Championship that he's kind of trying to just redefine himself. I don't think it's a good idea that he's teaming up again with Sin Cara, though. I don't really like that. I think he can do a lot more as a singles competitor. But, I mean, he was an NXT tag champion. And who knows, maybe one day, maybe not anytime soon, but eventually maybe him and Sin Cara will be in the title picture.
Maybe tag team. You never know.
You never know. They might be, and with this brand split, who knows what might happen very much. Those two could be separated. Or, you know what, maybe they might, I hate to say it, but the brand split can mean that they might bring another set of tag team champions, just like they had before.
So. I mean, this could give the rest of the talent extra ideas to develop their character, whether they want to go back to being heel or face. Mm-hmm. The thing is, these guys sometimes I've noticed sometimes when there's a draft pick, like these factions or these groups, they end up going to their separate ways, and that just sometimes it destroys their character or their persona as a human being. I mean, you've had the Dudley Boys. It's been done. I mean, Devon ended up being like some kind of preacher gimmick.
Yeah,
with Batista, when Batista was starting out, and then you had Bubba Ray Dudley on Raw. He wins the Hardcore Championship, but him and Spike reunite. So it just gets pretty weird. And then you remember when Booker T and Goldust were tag team?
Oh, yeah. What did they call their team? I mean, it's kind of like something like the Golden Truth right now.
Yeah, but Booker T ended up turning heel on SmackDown. So it's just a lot of different things that might happen.
That was a good tag team, by the way. I mean, weren't they tag champions at one point?
Yes, they were. They were tag champions. I mean, I think Booker T's held almost every title in the WWE.
Yeah, he's a Grand Slam winner.
He's a Grand Slam winner.
And he was a WCW champion and a United States champion when it was WCW back then also.
Goldust, I think, is just held every title.
He's a Triple Crown winner, but I don't think he's ever held the world title.
No, he's never.
He's never been U.S. champion either, has he? Or was he in WCW? I don't even remember that. But anyway, going forward, we don't want to get too sidetracked here, but let's go to another. Was this a pre-show match? I think this was the beginning of the show. Actually, it was a Baron Corbin versus Dolph Ziggler, which is hopefully the last encounter that we see between these two. I don't remember.
This is getting to be a barn burner.
It's really old. Yeah,
it's getting old. It's like, how many times does Dolph Ziggler have to put Baron Corbin over? I mean, he just gave it to him again. It's just, okay, we get the picture. You're gonna put him over. I mean, I figured to get another win.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I honestly didn't care to see who won in this match. I mean, because I think Baron Corbin has a lot to prove. I just don't think that he should be doing it against the same guy consistently as Dolph Ziggler. But you know what? I mean, you got to give Dolph Ziggler credit for still even having airtime at this point. You know what? Because I know he's had some heat in the past with his little Twitter rants on social media. And, I don't know how good his relationship is with, Vince and Triple H and, all the higher-ups backstage. But, for him to be in the position where he was at one point the World Heavyweight Champion and now going back to basically lower card, not even mid-card anymore. He's basically still pre-show material now.
You know what? I'm surprised. I'm surprised Zack Ryder hasn't said anything on Twitter. I'm surprised he hasn't said anything derogatory to say about his card, because
he's been getting some more on air time though. I mean, before I remember he was just strictly getting shows on like Superstars or Main Event, and he was even helping.
They buried him. He only held the IC championship. He just put over Baron Corbin on Monday. It's getting out of hand. Ever since he'll win a title and then he'll start putting everybody over. Match after match after match after match, and then it's like he's got a pattern. He'll have some starlight, shine when he wins a mid-card title like the U.S. Championship, which Dolph Ziggler, by the way, put him over.
He did,
and then all of a sudden, 5 years later, he ends up being a Intercontinental Champion. I mean, this is ridiculous. He's also another Triple Crown winner. And I don't get it. It's just like they bury him like that, like his career. And he hasn't made one lousy comment about the WWE putting him in those cards. I mean, that's...
maybe he's doing the right thing by keeping his mouth,
maybe up. Maybe this is giving him a job. I mean, and then Titus O'Neil... The Titus got
buried also.
He got buried also.
Yeah, well, let's not get too ahead of ourselves, right? We'll talk about that match a little later on. But, basically, Baron Corbin gets the win off Ziggler. So, let's move on. Apollo Crews versus Sheamus.
That was a fluke. To me, that was kind of a fluke match.
Do you not like the way Sheamus got pinned or something?
I did not like the way he got pinned. I think it was just a throwaway match.
It was another throwaway match. I don't think it really that personified who Apollo Crews is in the ring, because we've seen what he can do in the ring. And Sheamus, it was more of a let's get this match over with type of match. I mean, it wasn't really anything.
This match could have been a SmackDown match or a pre-show.
I mean, I think it was meant for the pre-show, actually, but I think they pushed it to the main card because I feel like, since The Miz wasn't there to defend his Intercontinental title, and I don't know why, we'll talk about that in a little bit, they had to fill in other matches. And I want to say, honestly, 3 or 4 of the matches on the show were all throwaway matches, dude. And this is something I'm going to rant about a little later on, but I mean, I really kind of hated the fact that some of these matches were on here. They didn't make any sense to me, okay?
No, they didn't.
So let's go forward from there. Basically, Apollo Crews gets the win over Sheamus, which is technically the biggest win in his career, if you think about it at this point, because Sheamus is a former WWE champion, multiple-time WWE champion. So for him to get a win over a former champion like that, it's big as far as him being Apollo Crews.
That's right.
And it can do more for his career, but at the same time, I still don't know what WWE or their creative team is doing with Apollo Crews' character exactly. I mean, honestly, and I hate to say it, but I think Apollo Crews is better off being a heel at this point than trying to be another babyface out there. I think it just ain't happening.
He still needs work on the promos.
He still needs work, yeah. And, he's working with guys like Sheamus and other people like that. But, I mean, we'll see what's up, I guess. Only time can tell. And maybe this brand split's going to help him out. I mean, we'll see what happens with Apollo Crews. But going forward from there, we're going to have the United States Championship match. Rusev versus Titus O'Neil, and I don't know if this is a specific order. Actually,
Titus O'Neil brought his family. He brought his sons.
Yeah, actually, I hated the end of that match because it was Father's Day, man. And if you watch this match, it was a really quick match. By the way, it was a squash match. It was just in and out within 5 minutes. Rusev was already giving him the what do they call it? The Steiner recliner,
the Accolade,
the Accolade or something like that.
Accolade.
Rusev.
Munchka.
But anyway.
Well, I tell you, his wife, man, his fiance. I'm sorry, Lana. She whiz, man. I tell you,
she just gets more beautiful every week. Is all I'm gonna say, right? But anyway, going from there, I didn't like the fact that after the match, Rusev gets the victory. He was pretty dominant in this match, and Titus O'Neil's doing what creative wants him to do, and he's putting over a guy like Rusev because they want to make Rusev look more dominant. But at the same time, you have a guy that's almost bigger than Rusev. I want to say they're about the same size as far as maybe Rusev's a little heavier.
Rusev is about 305.
He don't even look like a 300.
Maybe he's lost weight.
He looks thinner than Titus O'Neil to me.
Titus O'Neil's 270 and 6'5".
Yeah, so I mean, but he's a lot taller than Rusev. Rusev's a lot shorter, so you have to take that into consideration. But anywho, I mean, throwaway match. I'm really disappointed. I feel like that could have been a lot better. I feel like that Titus O'Neil could have had more momentum going into the match, and there was just no momentum as far as an actual match going. It was just pure frustration as a fan for me to see because I'm just like, why even put him in the position? And that match was actually more closer to the main event. It was super late in the card. It was like maybe the second to last match, right? Or one of the last matches, third to last match. Right?
I would suspect like maybe he could win it at SummerSlam.
Well, they're going to keep pushing him, and we'll talk about what happens with him a little more coming up on the Raw recap. Let me see. Let me look at the time here. I don't even know where we are on time. Oh, we're only at 14 minutes.
Yeah, it's 7:56 p.m.
We got a lot of time then. We're going to talk about a lot of stuff, Tony. We might have to make up stuff as we go along. It's all right. I have Twitter here. So, okay. So going from there, we're going to talk about a match that I had no clue was even happening, and this is just a match that I thought was a complete waste of time, which is. And I hate to say it, but, for someone that talks about, women's revolution or divas revolution, whatever you want to call it, this is just a waste and another throwaway match.
It just ended up being so obvious. Yes. Like, you knew that Natalya was going to turn heel, but I didn't know it was going to turn after that. I figure, Becky Lynch is trying to be like the Good Samaritan here, but she's just tired of it. And I don't like the way they're just putting Dana Brooke as like an Arn Anderson figure or a sidekick. I just don't like the idea. I feel like they're doing the same thing they did to Batista when Batista was sidekicking with Triple H and Ric Flair, and then later on that draft, he says, I'm going to stand on Raw, and he ends up taking the championship.
Yeah, my thing about that is, like, how is Dana Brooke even, like, a threat? Because she's half the size of Charlotte. She's not a big girl. She's a must. I mean, she's a bodybuilder. She's in shape.
She's a former
She's
bodybuilder.
in shape, but, like, really, who is she threatening on the women's roster? None of the women are threatened.
They're making her look. They're making her look tough.
They're
making her look tough but stupid.
Yeah,
I think she looks like she's acting like the words of Jericho, a stupid idiot.
Okay, you have to. I guess in my perspective, though, you have to look at her and this is an opportunity for her because honestly, she wasn't in NXT that long. I mean, she's product of the WWE developmental system. Naturally, she's a gifted talent. You know, we've seen, if you guys watch Breaking Ground, which is on the WWE Network, for how much, Tony? Only $9.99.
Oh, it's always free.
It's always free if you're a new subscriber, right? But anyway, so if you watch Breaking Ground, you can see a little bit of backstory on Dana Brooke and like where she comes from. How she was kind of an athlete before she got into the WWE, but she wants to go to the very top, which is all the stars' aspirations at one point. They all want to be at the headlining the main card, etc. And Dana Brooke, she came off an injury recently. Which Asuka actually gave her, a while back, and was kind of towards the end of early 2016, maybe the late 2015, right? And she came off the injury, and she didn't really do much coming back from there, though. She hasn't really had any, women's title shots as far as like the NXT Women's Championship went. I don't know. She wasn't really much of a threat there. She had a couple of okay matches, but really didn't do much. Now that Emma got hurt, they actually gave her the opportunity to give her that title push, or not the title push, but that bump on the main roster. So it is, you have to look at it on their side like this. They're giving her the opportunity to have her face out there and be exposed, which is something that wrestling fans don't really think about, I guess. In my opinion, you're either like someone or you don't, right?
I have a feeling Dana Brooke is gonna learn as much as she can from Charlotte Flair. She's gonna learn a lot, the ring psychology. She's gonna learn the struts. She's gonna learn everything. Eventually, she's gonna turn on Charlotte, or either way, and she's probably gonna get the title.
All right, so I have my buddy Carlos saying that the reason why they had that women's match is because at the time, Game 7 of the NBA Finals was going on, and they just needed something to basically allow the fans to change the channel so that they can watch, the basketball game, so they can see the finish of the game, which is, I don't necessarily disagree. Like I said, it was a throwaway match. And I hate the fact that, the women's championship wasn't even defended. There's 2 championships not defended.
It's Money in the Bank for a reason.
Yeah, I legitimately, like, if they're going to be hosting pay-per-views, why take away like championships like the women's title and the Intercontinental Championship?
It doesn't make sense because pay-per-view is no excuses. Title should be on the line. On a pay-per-view, title should be on the line. And it's so foolish to not put a title on line on a pay-per-view. Some people are crazy enough to pay lots of money to watch a pay-per-view, and those fans that pay maybe a lot of money for a pay-per-view, it's just ridiculous if you don't put a title on the line. I just didn't like the booking that night.
It was just horrible booking in my opinion also. But I want to go back and that match, the one that my friend was talking about was actually the Titus O'Neil and Rusev match. He says that was the one that was the throwaway match during the end of Game 7 on the NBA Finals, which if you guys watched, the Cleveland Cavaliers won a championship for the first time. So congrats to LeBron James and the rest of the Cleveland Cavaliers. If you guys watched the game, though, at the very end, Kevin Love, who's a player of the Cleveland Cavaliers, he actually wore a Stone Cold t-shirt, Austin 316, right? And he had the Smoking Skull belt with him when they were taking pictures. So I got to give Kevin Love props for being a wrestling fan. And if you watch the following day, LeBron James was actually wearing an Ultimate Warrior t-shirt after he came out of their private jets or whatever. So you got to give LBJ props for that also for,
So we got some wrestling fans for basketball players, huh?
Yeah, but I think the shirt, the Ultimate Warrior shirt, was supposed to be like kind of like a joke for the Golden State Warriors, I guess. I think they were cutting jokes. But anyway, going forward from there, let's talk about the tag match, which was fatal 4-way 8-man.
To me, I think it was just a mess. It was just a mess.
It was a mess.
Enzo Amore and Big Cass versus the New Day versus
the club.
Versus.
I think that was it, actually. It was just hold on. New Day, the Vaudevillains, Enzo, and Cass in the club.
Yeah.
Yes. So yes, that was actually the first match of the show, actually. I don't know why we're talking about it so late in the card, right? But basically, I mean, you got to give it to the New Day for retaining. I mean, I think at this point, they've solidified themselves as, the WWE Tag Team.
I'm not gonna shake.
I like that. I'm sorry. Xavier Woods is starting to grow on me.
I want the championship to change.
But you know what? Yes, this WWE Tag Championship does have to change hands eventually, and. It was one of those matches where it could have went to anyone, honestly. There was a couple of moments where I thought, the club was going to win. I actually thought the club was going to win the titles. And
Same here. I was going for them.
That was going to be big for them if, Carl Anderson and Luke Gallows actually won that championship because, they were pretty dominant in the Japan over there, overseas, and et cetera. So, the Vaudevillains, not so much because they did have their shot recently and they lost at that last pay-per-view. And and Enzo and Cass, they have their way with the crowd, and I'm sure eventually one of these days they're going to win the championship. It's going to happen. I mean, they're the only ones that haven't won a title from those 8 guys. But anyway, excuse me, we have a little technical difficulties over here. Okay, going forward from there, it was more of a throwaway match also, and it was the first match of the night, and. I mean, the only thing that I really liked was maybe that part where Luke Gallows and Carl Anderson do their move. I forget what their move's called.
It's weird. I mean, he does one
of them picks the other guy up, and the other one what? Oh no, they both pick him up. Right?
It's like a suplex. It's like a corkscrew suplex.
Yeah. I'm not too good with the names like Tony over here is, but they were so close is all I'm going to say. I mean, they were very close, and I honestly thought the title was going to change hands and nothing. So, I mean, New Day, like I said, victors. That's all I can say. New Day rocks. New Day rocks. No? How about
all right. No, nor the words of Bray Wyatt.
Oh, gosh. We'll talk about Bray Wyatt later on.
We'll say it later.
Yeah, we'll say it later. But, okay, we're almost done with our Money in the Bank recap.
Going to speaking of the Money in the Bank, ladder match. This is the next match.
The ladder match, yes.
This is my favorite one.
Well, sure, I don't want to give you spoilers yet, but we have 6 people involved in this match. You have Chris Jericho. You have
Cesaro.
Sami Zayn.
Kevin Owens.
You have who
Alberto
else?
Del Rio.
And did I say Chris Jericho? I think Chris Jericho was the last one.
Alberto Del Rio. And last but not least, you already said Sami Zayn. Dean Ambrose.
Yeah, Dean Ambrose, right? Yeah. Last but not least, Dean Ambrose. So, oh my gosh, very, very
suspenseful. Very suspenseful.
Exciting.
It could have gone either way.
Any of these guys could have walked out of there the money. I think this is one of those Money in the Banks where, every single guy in that match had their hand on the briefcase at one point. I think Cesaro had his hand on it. Alberto Del Rio had his hand. Chris Jericho had his hand on it more than once. I think Kevin Owens, Sami Zayn. I think the only one that really didn't leave you thinking that he was going to grab that case at the end was Dean Ambrose. He wasn't really too heavily involved in the match.
No, I think what happened was he was trying to give these guys some exposure first, and then he was hiding, catching his breath. Yeah, and then Kevin Owens came close a few times.
Oh, did you see that power bomb that Sami Zayn gave to KO on the ladder, dude? Do you remember that? That was towards the end, man. What
are those ladders? Are those real ladders? I don't know what they're made of.
I don't know if they're made out of solid metal, but they got to be a light aluminum or something. That's still gonna hurt no matter what.
Yeah, no matter what.
So I mean, you can't fake gravity like they've said in the past, and seeing Sami Zayn just bomb Kevin Owens onto that ladder, which wasn't even open. It was sitting down on its side, and Kevin Owens landed directly on it, and the ladder did not fall. He was literally laying down on the ladder, and I was like, man, that was the wow moment of the night. I can't say what they usually say,
definitely,
but we'll call it the good old JR moments of the night, where where he
holy
says,
cow.
Oh my God, or something like that, you know?
He's broken in half. He's broken in half.
He's broken in half. Pulling a Principal Skinner over here or something like that. But anyway, very suspenseful match. Who gets the win, Tony? Who was the lucky man that walks away with the money in the bank?
The lunatic French, Dean Ambrose, or you could say Mike the Miz in our book. To me, I'm going to tell you guys, if you guys haven't watched our shows in the past,
yep.
I think it was either episode 7 or 6. What was it? Or
it was last year around the Halloween time.
We dressed up as the Shield. I was Roman Reigns. Mike was dressed up as Dean Ambrose, and Isaac was Seth Rollins. And he pulled off a really good Dean Ambrose, kind of a really skinny version, but we look at him as
still got the guns.
Yeah, he still got the guns. But Mike the Biz, our new and reigning Money in the Bank. It gets better later on. So let me let's go on to the main event.
Yeah.
So the main event is Rollins versus Roman Reigns for the championship.
This is a very exciting rematch, by the way. Well, not even a rematch. It's just,
golly, it was such a close call. I mean, that match, it was just triggering you. Like, it could happen to either or. I mean, I noticed the matches were very detailed. I noticed the matches were very detailed because,
especially with Seth Rollins.
Seth Rollins has incredible core strength to be power bombing a 265-pound Samoan machine.
The bulldozer.
Yeah, he just that's his cousin.
Yeah, I know.
Eddie Fatu.
Yeah,
but he power bombs from turnbuckle to turnbuckle. I mean, 265 pounds, like baby weight. And it's like a 50-pound difference if you think about it, with Rollins. So during these matches, I've noticed that he was very careful, Mike.
Mm-hmm.
He did the sunset flip. I mean, plus this is what happened. Roman Reigns, he was getting up on the top turnbuckle. He's not an aerial guy. He does not do turnbuckles.
Yeah.
But he set himself up for a suplex from Seth Rollins. Seth Rollins hits him with a suplex to another overlapping suplex to a Falcon Arrow. Like, he set him up on that one on purpose.
Mm-hmm.
And then on top of that, did you remember they were back to the corner of the ring doing the turnbuckle? Rollins does a sunset flip, and the same sunset flip when he injured his leg when he fought against Kane, how he injured his leg.
He was very hesitant.
He was very hesitant. I noticed that Roman Reigns was very careful and crucial with Rollins. He was super careful. He carried him pretty well by letting him do the sunset flip. He did it gently as he came down.
Yeah.
From the turnbuckle. Did you notice that?
Mm-hmm.
So he was trying to carry him very carefully, safety. Reigns did a great job doing that. I was looking at that detail by detail.
Mm-hmm.
And then outside the ring later on, he just puts all his brute force by going through a security wall.
Yeah.
That's just insane. And I've never seen this, but, when during the match, going close to the end, he does another spear. He does a spear to Rollins. And it was so amazing how Rollins, reversed it to a pedigree. I've never seen a spear be reversed to a pedigree. When I saw that, and this is something I knew I had to talk about also, it was what are the words? Brilliant.
It was brilliant, yes. Excellent, fantastic. Any word that you can see that oh my gosh, that took so much detail and precise timing for Seth Rollins to do something like that. It was ridiculous. I was like, my God, this is the wow moment of the night.
I call it the Picasso. I call that the Picasso of reversals. The spear is actually a very hard move to reverse. I mean, you could probably do a DDT with it, but I feel like you'll still get hurt.
Yeah.
Because he's putting brute force on you, but I don't know how he mastered it. But what happens at the end, eventually after 2 pedigrees?
Hold on, we have to hold that thought right because we got to call those beautiful letters, Tony.
Oh, okay, here we go. KCYP, Mission McAllen.
Okay, and we're back. This is ARMBAR Radio here on 97.7 FM this city. So we were talking about the
match,
yes. WWE main event at Money in the Bank, Seth Rollins versus Roman Reigns, and Tony was about to give away our winner, basically.
So what happened is after two pedigrees, Reigns gets hit with the pedigree, and just two amazing pedigrees. I thought the first one, I figured, okay, that was so awesome that could have, he could have just
gone either way.
Either way. Okay, so he gets the second one. 1, 2, 3. Rollins is the new WWE World Heavyweight Champion. Okay. For some reason, I had a sick hunch that something was going to happen. Mm-hmm. So about, a minute and a half later, or not even a minute, the music comes out. Dean Ambrose's music comes in. And you got Seth Rollins. He's ready. He's got the title ready. He wants to just bash him in the head with the title. Mm-hmm. And in the entrance music, no, he doesn't come through the entrance. He comes from behind, bashes Seth Rollins in the back of the head with a briefcase, tells the referee, ring the bell, I'm going to cash it in, gets in the ring, DDT, he does a Dirty Deeds DDT, 1, 2, 3, our new winner,
World Heavyweight Champion.
And congratulations, Mike the Biz.
Thanks.
He's our.
I'm the new champ, guys.
New champion. But
crazy night.
Well deserved. Well deserved.
All members of the Shield were champion that night, which is pretty ridiculous statistic if you think about it. I mean, all those guys came in at the same time. They came in together, and in the same night, they were all champion. And of course, Dean Ambrose was the one that essentially walked away the champion. Yeah. But I mean, for Roman Reigns to hold the title and pretty much all year, except for before WrestleMania this year, and Seth Rollins to come back from that injury, rehab it. And you know what's so impressive about Seth Rollins winning that match? It was a clean win.
It was a clean.
He didn't.
No excuses.
No excuses. He didn't. Roman Reigns legitimately lost the title to Seth Rollins that night, and that's because Seth Rollins, more than halfway through the match, he was iffy. You can tell there was hesitance on his part in a lot of the moves that Tony said that he was trying to do, like the move off the top rope, which is the over the hook.
He carried him really well.
Flip, exactly. And,
Reigns did a good job.
And so did Rollins. Rollins, of course, was a deserving champion. But then Dean Ambrose, just to come back from that and, surprise everyone. You know what? I wasn't surprised because, when Dean Ambrose said he's going to do something, he's going to do it, And he basically said it on Monday Night Raw at the Ambrose Asylum prior to Money in the Bank that he was going to do it.
Have you noticed, though, he was very, very modest, Dean Ambrose, because in the beginning of Money in the Bank, he wasn't cocky. He didn't, during the promos, when he was getting interviewed, he wasn't cocky. He wasn't really cocky about anything. All the other guys were a little cocky about that. They're all saying, "Oh, I'm going to win this and I'm going to win that." And no, Ambrose said, "We'll just find out, see what happens."
Yeah.
And I like that attitude. And after the match was over, I mean, they interviewed him again after he won the title, and he said that after 2 years hard work, scratching and crawling, spending the night in squad cars. I mean, piece by piece. I mean, this guy. What I like about Dean Ambrose, he started off as a mid-card champion. He started off as a U.S. champion. Then he started off as started off as a U.S. champion, then an Intercontinental champion, and now a WWE champion. So he's a Triple Crown champion. And so I like the way I like his credentials and Money in the Bank. So he's got a list right there. And which is interesting is he didn't rush all the way to world champion like some wrestlers do.
Yep.
This guy has a great career highlights of being the man he is, or now he's called the dude he is.
The dude, he's not the guy, he's not the man, he's just the dude. He's the dude. I don't know.
So if you think about it, I would probably do the same thing. Start off as a mid-card champion, start winning those 2 prestigious championships just to get your career going, just to get your feet wet.
Mm-hmm.
And that builds up a resume. Those prestigious titles were actually founded by former WWE champions. So this actually, I can see them pay the way for Dean Ambrose's career. So I give him a big shout out as well, Dean Ambrose. Congratulations for winning the new World Heavyweight Championship.
And how about those side plates on his belt, by the way?
Side plates were incredible.
Them, yeah.
I bet you Renee Young, man, she is just sugarcoating it about, you just see the tweets. Yeah, so she's definitely breaking kayfabe about, Dean Ambrose, the greatest champion of all. Come on, you know that you're dating Dean Ambrose. Just say it already. You're just sugarcoating it. Everybody, the WWE Universe Armbar fans know that you are dating Dean Ambrose.
Should we give Isaac a call, by the way?
Yeah, we should. I think it's time. Give him a call.
Give him a call.
We're going to hear a rant. I can sense a rant coming along.
Yeah, let's talk about I'm just going to say, now that, that's said and done, and we're talking about Dean Ambrose being the World Heavyweight Champion, Raw happened, but this is some breaking news if you guys haven't heard already, but Roman Reigns has been suspended by the WWE. Oh, is that a voicemail? Hold on, let's see. Let's see if I can get a hold of Isaac. Hold on, let me see, because basically we told him, hey Isaac, we haven't heard your voice on the show in a while, so we want to hear you. But let's.
Hey Dad, how you doing?
You're on the air.
We are on the air.
Oh, okay, never mind. I guess he's not here.
We want to give a shout out to my dad. He's actually here in our little stage.
He's packing, if you know what I mean.
Want to say hi to Armbar fans?
Hello, how are you?
Get on the camera.
How's everybody?
Right here.
Yeah, he's
What's
over there, actually.
Over there. How you doing?
No gloves.
No, what's that?
No gloves.
No gloves.
All right, thank you.
Enjoy the show.
Thank you. All right, we have a special guest here. So we couldn't get a hold of Isaac on the show, unfortunately. I don't know what's going on with him. I guess his phone died or it's disconnected. But I'm going to repeat to you guys what Isaac was saying earlier. And I'll try to keep it PG for you guys because this is a PG station, right? But let's take a look, okay? I want to repeat the words that Isaac said, okay? Isaac says, it bugs me so much for a guy that he gets rocket strapped to the back and gets pushed beyond belief, on the show. He has crowd mics that are muted and the boos are muted, whatever, and he kills the momentum of others, and he does this. It's just like a slap in the face, not to the fans, but to the business. It's just like he doesn't care that everything has been practically handed to him on a silver platter. So those are the words of Mr. Isaac the Architect Ruiz talking about this recent suspension on Roman Reigns. And Roman Reigns, basically, he failed the wellness policy. Or I don't know what's going on. It could be, drugs or something else. I don't know what it is. What do you think, Tony?
It could be anything. Maybe too much partying with Mr. Dean Ambrose, Mr. Heavyweight Champion over here. But, these guys are stressful. They're on the road, and they're out 250 to 300 days a year. Sometimes I feel like they flunk the wellness policy on purpose just to see their family. You never know. Some people do that.
It's true. I mean, I don't disagree there. I mean, you never know. I mean, like Tony was mentioning earlier, that those are some nice shoes, by the way.
Wow. What size are those, Dad? Oh, wow.
We'll take a look at that later, right? And Tony's dad showing us some nice shoes over here.
Under Armour, yeah.
But so, yeah, these guys are on the road, 200-300 plus days out of the year, and they never get to see their families. Roman Reigns is a dad, and if you guys know, Father's Day just recently, passed. So shout outs to all the dads out there. Happy belated Father's Day, whatever you want to call it.
Absolutely.
But he wants to see his kids, I'm sure. I mean, and the fact that Roman Reigns has been putting in the time for more than a year since WrestleMania last year, if you think about it. I mean, he's been there full time. He's been doing every single show. The guy has never been off an injury or anything like that. So, I think I wouldn't call it well-deserved time off because he did violate that wellness policy, but. If that's what he was going for,
I mean, he did own up, but he did own up to it. And I can repeat his tweet on that. He did repeat. He says, I apologize to my family, friends, and fans for my mistake in violating the WWE's wellness policy. No excuses. I own it. So basically, I can understand. I am still disappointed on his actions and what he did.
Yeah.
But, what happens. We can't push anything back. But I know there's some wrestlers in the past that have violated the wellness policy.
Randy Orton,
4 strikes already with him. He could have been fired already a long time ago. Yeah. I mean, it's 3 strikes, you're out. I mean, it wasn't fair if you think about it, Adam Rose was actually suspended for 60 days for a wellness policy he flunked. So this is not right, even though he had a domestic violence issue. They just fired him like that. Is it because they're the biggest stars of the company and they get this leeway, or maybe he's a third-generation star? I mean, it's getting to be a joke.
Who knows? I mean, what's the point of having these wellness policies if they aren't going to go, punish or whatever? I mean, 30 days, I can see, this is the first-time offense on Roman Reigns' part. And who knows? I mean, we've seen Orton been gone longer than that in the past. He's gotten, 3-month suspensions because of his wellness violations. And, I don't know if they do fines or anything like that, or if they just, don't pay them. I know they get paid per show if you think about it, per contract. But at this point, it's like, well, I mean, Battlegrounds is 5 weeks away. Are we going to, see Roman Reigns in that title picture?
We don't know. I mean, it's speculating. I think what happened was he knew that he was supposed to drop the title on Sunday due to the fact that he failed the wellness policy. But what doesn't make any sense that on Raw they revealed that he was going to be that he was going to be part of a triple threat WWE Championship match. So let's just kill Raw right now.
Let's talk about Raw.
Let's talk about Raw. I mean, okay.
So intro. Let's talk about the intro. Okay, so Roman Reigns comes out, or Dean Ambrose actually comes out, celebrates his championship, of course. Then you have Roman Reigns come out saying blah blah blah. I want to have my title shot back. And then, of course, Seth Rollins is like, no. He's like, I was the champion last night. I deserve a title shot. And, you got them just arguing back and forth. Dean Ambrose is just like, I'll fight anyone. I don't care, whatever. And then from there, Shane McMahon, here comes the money.
Here comes the money.
Yeah, so Shane comes out and, he finally says, you know what? Tonight we're going to have a number 1 contenders match in the main event. Seth Rollins versus Roman Reigns. Winner gets to fight Dean Ambrose at the next pay-per-view Battleground, okay? So, that happens later on in the night. So we'll talk about that right now. Let's talk about what happens afterwards, okay? Let's talk about Sami Zayn versus Kevin Owens in an anticipated
that match was very fast-paced.
It was a quick match.
Very quick match.
I thought it was going to last longer than it did.
Same here. So the match was going off and on. They're outside activity coming in, and then you got Kevin Owens who's about to throw him into a pop-up powerbomb, ends up reversing it to a victory roll pin. 1, 2, 3.
Yeah, and I guess Sami Zayn got the steal, basically.
He got the steal win, but there's still bad blood with Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn. This has been going on for over a year already.
That's a feud that's never going to end.
This feud it reminds me of the Shawn Michaels and Triple H feud.
Yeah, it's like a Stone Cold versus The Rock also. I mean, it's just a feud that's never going to end. You're always going to have a rivalry between those two. And, eventually I think Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn will find, maybe the brand split's going to help this between these two guys because, I don't know if I can see them both staying on the same show and just continuing to feud. I don't know if that's going to work or not.
Yeah, they end up feuding outside the ring and in the back. I mean, Is this asking for a SummerSlam pay-per-view or Battleground?
Hopefully it doesn't turn into a three-match pay-per-view event where it's like Ziggler versus Baron Corbin or Chris Jericho versus AJ Styles.
I mean, what is it? A Battleground street fight match with him?
Battleground street fight match, and then the next pay-per-view we're going to have a Summer Wave Heat Tour match. You're going to have a
Hell in a Cell or something. It's getting out of hand, okay? It's like, make peace. Maybe do a Team Hell No or something like that.
Over it. Yeah, maybe they should become the tag team champions. Who knows? I mean, if these guys, hate each other so much. But okay, so Sami Zayn gets the win. Let's move forward. We got about 15 minutes to finish the Raw recap here. After that segment, we have People power.
That was an interesting surprise. Big Johnny Ace or John Laurinaitis.
The father-in-law of who Nikki
The Bellas, yes.
Bella, yeah.
He's also the younger brother of Warrior Animal.
That's true.
Yeah,
so he's got a legacy in the business. I mean, he's the president of talent relations.
What was up with the red suit, blue tie, and white shoes? That was just a weird wardrobe malfunction.
Yeah, he was just, he's like, if they don't want me as SmackDown, as the SmackDown person, then maybe I can be the Raw general manager again. He can be, and he was running both shows at one point. I think
he was.
And you know what? I don't think John Laurinaitis is that bad of a general manager, to be honest with you. I think that people just genuinely hated him. But if I had to choose between him and Teddy Long, I think I'd pick John Laurinaitis just because I thought he was a lot funnier. First of all. People power.
And then I have a feeling next week. Do you think Vicky Guerrero's going to come by next week just for the heck of it?
I don't know. If you think about it, they started off with Teddy Long. I mean, you never know. I mean, even Paul Heyman could come into the mix. Vicky Guerrero is a big name, though. But I know she's taking care of stuff outside of the company.
I know, but she's probably going to just do it for publicity.
It wouldn't be just. I mean, well, you never know. I mean, you never know. They might just cut her a check and be like, "Hey, hey, we might give here, come do this one show. We're going to give you like $10,000. Hey, money's money,
Yeah, because it was interesting. A lot of former GMs were on the show. Kane, Theodore Long, Mr. People Power, Johnny Ace. So I have a feeling next one's going to be Vicky Guerrero next week. It's getting to be very predictable.
I mean, I just hope that it's like Paul Heyman also or someone. You know what? We could use a guy like Paul Heyman running SmackDown or Raw again.
Or Mike Adamle.
Mike Adamle, the Adamle days, or even the laptop.
Maybe Mick Foley, former commissioner.
Yeah, you never know. Maybe they might bring Ric Flair back. Ric Flair was one of the first Raw general managers.
50% owner at the time.
50% owner of the company. Yeah, right. Let's talk about that. So, okay. Next match, we're going to talk about Enzo and Cass versus the Vaudevillains, which is somewhat of a rematch, I guess, of when they first debuted on Raw.
And who carried the win on that one?
I mean, to just give you a winner and loser on that?
Yeah, who won this?
Enzo and Cass win this match.
There you go. Well said.
Well said. I mean, I think those are two deserving guys, and the Vaudevillains are doing a good job putting over other teams right now. And eventually, all these teams that came up, the Vaudevillains, Enzo and Cass, they're going to get their title shot. And, eventually once they do have that, they're going to run with it, and we'll see how it goes from there. Enzo and Cass are just so in it with the crowd. And I'm hoping they come down August the 13th when they come down to the State Farm Arena, because I want to chat along with Enzo and Cass. Hello, my name is Enzo Amore, and this is Big Cass, and he's 7 feet tall, and you can't teach that. Okay, so that's going to be fun. But, okay, going forward, let's talk about the Becky Lynch backstage promo where she basically just gets burned by Natalya again, because I don't know what's happening with Becky Lynch. I just think no one likes her backstage because every person she feuds with, it just doesn't end up being a good thing.
I just think that she should just do her own thing, worry about her, and just go for women's championship.
It's
getting out of hand.
I genuinely feel bad for Becky Lynch right now. I mean, for someone that, Team PCB got betrayed. She recently teamed up with Natty, got betrayed, Same thing with Charlotte, got betrayed.
Yeah, I think what's happening is, to me, in the women's division, they don't have hardly any titles in the women's division. They have is one title, which is a women's championship. That's why I think I think it'd be best that WWE just make it a single woman's. It's a single woman's, show, because that division should be a single woman's, because there's no tag team. They need to get a tag team to get things going. There's a lot of women out there. Like, wrestling is a single man or woman's sport. So, yeah, I mean, it has to happen. I mean, we haven't had a heel turn in a while.
We'll see what happens. Well, I mean, if you think about it, Natalya was the heel turn. I mean, so that was a shocker for some people. I mean, I'm a huge Natalya fan, and I honestly don't care if she's heel or face. And we got Isaac back, so hopefully let's try to give Tony. Tony, go ahead and give him a call, and we'll see what happens here. If we want to try to get Isaac back on the air, because I want to hear his famous rant. Isaac, if you're listening, don't forget, keep it PG over here. And we'll go from there. We are recording. So let's see.
You are live, sir.
Turn on the speaker, Tony, or bring it up. Hello.
You are live. Can you hear me?
Welcome back to ARMBAR, Isaac.
Okay, welcome back to ARMBAR, dude. We are on the air. This is the PG line right now.
Yeah.
Okay, so give us your rant. What's going on?
What's your thoughts on Roman Reigns?
Okay, so you guys already talked about, like, just a few key points here. Like, what happened with Roman Reigns?
He got suspended for the wellness policy for doing some kind of drug or supplement.
All right, well, let's just think about this right now. So we all know that the wellness policy has a three-strike rule. You know, some guys have been fired for less, like, say, 2 strikes. Let's look at Jeff Hardy and Suki Carlito.
Yeah.
And you got Adam Rose, too.
Yeah, even Kurt Angle has been fired for a wellness policy thing. Well, not fired, but released. So you have to think of it in this way. This guy has been pushed to the moon. This guy has been basically put on a rocket pack to his back, personally by Vince McMahon. You know, he's not able to connect with the fans. He's not able, you know, he's getting booed out, and, you know, they have to mute his boos every time that he enters the arena. I mean, do you remember WrestleMania 32 when that happened?
Yeah.
Yes, definitely.
Mm-hmm.
This is...
So, think about it like this. I mean, the guy gets everything handed to him practically on a silver platter. And this isn't a critique on his character. This isn't even a critique of what I personally think of his in-ring ability. This is just really stupid.
It is, and I agree with you. I agree with you, Isaac.
Like in my opinion, it's just really stupid because the fact is that, yeah, he owned up to it in the tweet, and, you know, 30 days later he's going to come back, but what's going to be left? You know, this guy has killed a lot of the guys from my son's like. After, let's just say, you know, he killed Dean Ambrose's momentum for a while after, you know, the Survivor Series pay-per-view. He killed AJ Styles' momentum. Now he's in this group with Cena, you know, and he should have, you know, won the title, in my opinion. And, you know, let's just think about what's going on right now. So he gets suspended for another 30 days. Can you imagine just how livid Vince must be?
Oh, yeah, I can imagine.
What I think, though, Isaac, have you noticed some of his attitude is changing? I feel like he's already turning into a heel because the fans responding, you can't wrestle. They're telling him all kinds of stuff, and he responds to the fans. And
it's not even the fact that they're turning him heel. It's not the fact that, you know, whatever the fans say to him. It's his job and duty to go out there and perform as a champion, connect with the fans, get people riled up on him, you know, be the face of the company, be the guy. And
exactly.
You know what? This is his wellness policy right after he loses the title, right after he's scheduled to be in this big triple threat main event at Battleground, and he blew it. That's the thing, he blew it, and it's not only disrespectful, not just to, you know, me as a fan, it's disrespectful to the business as a whole. Because think about it, the guy's had everything so far handed to him on the silver bullet, and, you know, what does he have to show for it? You know, 3 lackluster title reigns. He can't connect with the crowd. He can't connect with the fans. People have been actively booing him, and all he has to say is that, oh, these fans don't know what they're talking about. You know, they're just haters because they hate their lives. Or he's even gone on record saying that you can't actively hate as a fan because you don't know what it's like to be in the ring. Because it's basically saying, okay, we get it. You know, my opinion doesn't matter to you, and, you know, I don't care. It's the fact that it's really disrespectful to the business because he's supposed to be this huge face for the company. He's been handed everything. He's had this jetpack strapped onto his back to the point where it's even detrimental to the product health. And he blows it. He blows it by, you know, either doing a drug or taking a perfect performance enhancing product. And that's the thing. You know, you can argue, oh, well, you know, he probably did it on purpose to his family, or he probably, you know, it's really stressful down the road. Well, you know what? Tough stuff, dude, because it's really inexcusable. Because let's look at a guy like C-Type, some guy. First, you know, he was being booed out of the building the first few nights. I mean, do you remember One Night Stand 2006?
Oh yeah. Actually 2005. I think it was 2005.
Yeah, 2005.
Yeah, they threw a shirt and everything.
Yeah, like he was being booed out of the building, and what did he do? He played up that role. He made sure, okay, you guys are going to boo me, I'm going to give you a reason to boo me. And, you know, he still did his job. He has never been suspended for a wellness violation, ever.
I don't think he's ever been suspended, period.
You know what that is? Because he wants to be there.
Yeah.
Yeah. And
he wants to be the guy that, you know, carries the company. He wants to be the guy that, you know, is the face of the poster. He wants to be the guy with the title. And that's, I think, the key difference between a guy like Roman Reigns and John Cena. Because here's the thing, people boo John Cena, but the fact is they acknowledge that one, he's a solid technical wrestler, and two, it's the fact that he wants to actually be there. He wants to be there for the company.
Mm-hmm.
Roman Reigns failed at football, and this is basically him saying, well, I'm related to The Rock. I can use wrestling. And you can bet Vince ate that up because he's thinking, oh, he's related to The Rock. We can push this guy and make him the next big star.
If you think about it, Isaac, you make a great point, because if you know about John Cena, he's never suspended for anything. He's the ambassador of the Make-A-Wish Foundation. So if he was to make these foul plays by taking a drug that he's not supposed to, or doing some disorderly conduct outside of WWE,
his image would be shot.
Yeah, his image would be shot. Yeah. His reputation be, in the toilet. So, yeah, you're absolutely right. He wants to be there, even though he's making movies. He's trying to bring his credentials to the highest level, just like The Rock. But this is actually a very big mistake what Roman Reigns did. He pretty much made a foul play on his own family, like The Rock. The Rock paved the way for his career to be where it is today.
Think about it. The Rock personally came out at the Royal Rumble to lift up his hand.
Yeah. And then to do that, that's like a slap in the face, because The Rock brought him into the business, just like his dad Sika and the White Old Samoans. And it's like slapping his own cousin in the face to do that sort of thing.
Because The Rock never did.
The Rock never really did. I don't think The Rock ever been suspended for these type of matters. And he is a father to his daughter. He's a father figure. His daughter looks up to him for him to be doing that kind of behavior. I mean,
exactly.
I'm wearing his shirt, for crying out loud. I'm wearing a Roman Reigns shirt.
Take that thing off and burn it now.
I'm not going to burn it, but look, I'm going to tell you what. Everybody makes mistakes. I mean, Hogan makes mistakes, but what he did was, yes, I agree. He did something very wrong, and I think he's selfish for what he did.
It's not just that. I mean, what's cool is that he's still very early into his career that he can make it up. But now it's time that he has to prove that he wants to be there. It's go time, buddy.
Yeah, he needs to grow up.
He has to prove that, A, he wants to be there, and 2, that he can not only just interact with the fans, but interact within the company. Because here's the thing. I can't remember a single time that he's been cheered whenever he came out as champion.
Yeah.
You're right. I agree.
He is 30 years old, for crying out loud. He's 30 years old. You figure he knew better.
And it's the thing, you can blame it on booking. I'll even go so hard or push so hard that, people would be high on him. People would be saying, put this guy in the main event, make him a silent type, make him a Goldberg type where he doesn't talk, he just spears people. But the thing is that, now is the time that he actually will have to prove that he wants to be there. Because here's the thing, you can only blame booking so much. I mean, put it this way, Damien Sandow barely got any time, and he had a horrible gimmick, and you know what, people were cheering him every time he came out.
Yep.
Yeah, that shows proof that he wants to be part of the WWE. And according to these fans that want to be in there, I mean, that now that he's in the independent circuit, I saw the latest, he was doing his gimmick and then doing the repeats.
All right, hold on, Tony, I had to cut you off. Isaac, are you still with me?
Yeah.
All right, man. This is our final minute. We have to close it out, man. This is for the station here. But since we have you back, man, I just want to tell you that it's good to hear your voice on the air. We miss you so much, man. I hope you're doing okay over there and back home in Brownsville, right? Mm-hmm. And we hope to have you back on the air very soon with us, man. Because it's just I love hearing your voice, man. I love hearing.
Did you just say Brownsville?
Yeah, Brownsville.
Wow, you're at the NWA headquarters, man.
NWA headquarters.
Pretty much.
So, I want you to close.
Yeah, man, I'm out here working. I'm out here hustling, and I'm trying to do my own thing, but I'll be back.
Yeah, but I
want you to do the closing for us, but let's do a quick shout out.
Do a quick shout out, Tony.
Quick shout out to Gil, the Rebel Striker. Happy birthday, bro! One of our locals, and I want to tell you, I love you, honey. Shout out my wife for supporting us.
And I mean, just
Isaac?
quick shout out for me, real quick. I'm sorry. Quick shout out for me, Isaac, and I'll let you close it out. Shout out just to all my HEB peeps. Shout outs to you guys are listening. Chris from Grocery Man, no gloves, baby.
Oh, yeah.
Just everyone that's listening out there, all the ARMBAR fans. Corey from Michigan, I think.
Detroit, Michigan. Oh, and
Michigan,
Jay Russellpedia Choa, man.
Jay, man, shout outs to you. And then I'll pass it over to you, Isaac. Close it out for us, buddy.
All right, man. I want to give a very big shout out to Cleveland Cavaliers finally bringing out the title home.
Woo!
Quick shout out to Dean Ambrose bringing his title back to Cleveland.
All right,
Sir.
Good, congrats.
Shout out to Jay Ochoa. We miss you very much on the air, bud. I wish you could be on the air today. I mean, we would be having a very lengthy discussion right now.
Yeah, he would be. Yeah.
And, quick shout out to the ARMBAR universe. Everybody,
Yes.
listens to us, subscribes to us, likes us on Facebook. Thank you so much for supporting.
No
making our
gloves.
dreams true. And, just making sure that, we do this for you guys. We do this for the fans.
Absolutely.
And, we want to hear you guys' voices. We want to hear your opinions. So, just hit us up, tag us on Facebook, post on our wall. Tell us whatever you want to hear, what may be interesting to you. All right, guys, so this wraps up this edition of ARMBAR. And I just want to say, it's been a while, but hard work pays off. Dreams come true. Bad times don't last, but
Bad guys do. No gloves.
no gloves. All right, y'all. Thank you all so much for listening to ARMBAR on 97.7 FM The City.
All right.
All righty. Oh, you hung up on it.
Oh, shoot.
You were supposed to hang up on it. Call him back if you want. But that's it for our actual podcast here. Call him back. Give him a call back. Just so we can say our goodbyes or whatever you want to call it. We went a little over, but we go over all the time. This bitch, she hung up on it. We're still live on YouTube.
Yep.
Sorry, man. Sorry I hung up on you by mistake. It was an accident.
Good, dude. I'm going to take your holiday hook out, so yeah.
Oh, man. All right. Thanks for calling us out, man.
We love you.
We'll maybe get you next week again.
Love you guys too, dude. I'll be back sooner than you guys think. I promise you.
Awesome.
All right, bro.
All right,
Catch you, man.
All right. Bye.
Have a good night, man. We'll see you. Okay. All right. Anything you want to add?
It's unedited now, right?
We're unscripted.
We're unscripted.
Let's just go a little longer.
I want to give a shout out to my dad. I love you, Dad. Woo! Woo! Woo!
We got 2 people watching this, so I don't know who the other person is watching, but shout outs. I know one of them's Liz, so shout outs to you, Liz.
I want to see if we can make a phone call. Let me see if I can get a call going on. Let's see here. Let me make a call. Oh, that was unedited right there.
Yeah, I don't want to let that out on the air. Who's Tony calling? We didn't get rock and roll jam, unfortunately. Or maybe we do. Hold on.
We go rock and roll James.
Who are you trying to call?
I'll just call my boss.
Your boss, Elton?
He likes our show.
Oh, really? Elton listens into the station?
He listens to it sometimes.
So
rock and roll James right now.
So I don't know who's viewing us. I don't know who the second viewer is. Technically we're still on the air, but we're not recording for our.
Hey, rock and roll James, you're on the air. You want to talk to us?
I'm on the elliptical machine working out, man, for my next match.
Awesome, man. Rock and roll James is on ARMBAR. So what do you think of Money in the Bank, man? We talked about the suspension of Roman Reigns, man. He's suspended.
Yeah, man. Sometimes, they got to be taking those extra supplements in order to be able to, perform each and every night to the, in the way that Vince McMahon wants it to perform. It's not easy being a top dog in the WWE, but, John Cena's done it without any scars. I'm talking about suspension scars and stuff like that. But some other guys just don't see it that way. They need that extra oomph,
Rock and roll James, where are you working out at? What gym are you at?
I'm here at the gym at Uptown, man.
Awesome.
I realized, I usually work out in the mornings, but lately I've been doing it in the evening, so it kind of like changes up my body. My body's already used to get ready for the morning chinga.
Oh, wow.
And when I do it in the evening now, it's like, what the hell are you doing, Rock? Why are you doing this to us right now? We're not ready for it. And therefore, the body ends up, going through changes. If you work the same body part every single day, and usually what most people working out do, they do chest on Monday, Tuesday they do arms, Wednesday they do legs, and they do that for months on end. But they don't realize that the body realizes and figures it out. So they start getting ready for that at the same time every day that you've been doing it. So then you decide to change it up. You go to the bottom, starting at night, and your body's used to laying in bed watching TV, chilling out, relaxing.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden the body's like, what the hell are you doing, man? So then they end up going at your fat and start, leaning you out. And that's what I'm working on, man, because we got some big shows with my band Whiskey D July 4th weekend.
Awesome.
And I want to look. I bought some pants, man, and I want to make sure they fit, and I special ordered them through the mail, man,
There you go.
I always order them a little size bigger. That way, if they're too big, I can always tighten them up with my mother-in-law. She's a seamstress,
Oh, nice.
Sweet.
But if they're too tight, oh shit, they ain't no action. Oh, sorry, man. I'm sorry.
Oh, it's already the after hour. It's unedited. You can swear.
Oh, okay. And so if it's too tight, then I got to do something about it to fit in them. You know what I mean?
Hey, rock and roll! It's finally on the air with us. This is awesome. This is the after hour. I know you were doing a live Facebook Live after your shift was over at 94.5.
Yeah, I've been doing that. Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
That's pretty cool, man. I wanted you to give us a shout out. I don't know if you saw my message. I was giving you a message.
Yeah, I sent you a shout out on it. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Oh, really? Yeah.
Oh, cool. I'll listen to
watch
it.
it.
It's incredible. Sometimes when I do those after I get off the air, and I do those live things on Facebook, man, just people from all over the country jump in and start, putting up comments, and it's just amazing how social media works, man. It's crazy.
It is amazing. You're not going to believe this, Rock and Roll James. I bought actually the DDP Yoga. It just came in the mail. I ordered the 6-disc set. I'm going to do the DDP Yoga tonight.
All right. Well, don't just, put the DVD in and watch it on your couch eating Fruit Loops,
No.
With the cinnamon roll, or maybe one of those iced nut rolls from Shipley Donut, man.
Oh, man, I can go for one of those right now. No, man, this is business, man. I'm gonna do it tonight, man. And it's me and my wife are gonna try it tonight and try our journey, man. See how we do.
Yeah. Well, you know what? All I can say is, don't try to be DDP tonight. Just start at your own pace. Start off slow. It takes patience. You don't want to be Hulk Hogan overnight. You know what I mean? So
I don't think I want to be Hulk Hogan.
yeah, right.
Except the $145 million. Hulk Hogan's had $1 million backs. I just want to be me, man. I just want to be Tony the Machine Matuk, who I am now, and be there from the future. So I want to be me, nobody else.
Hey, did you hear about Sonny, man?
Yeah, you told me about Sonny selling her Hall of Fame ring to get into Playboy.
Well, she's been in rehab. Man.
She's in rehab?
WWE is going to put the bill, man.
Oh, they're going to pay for it, huh?
Yeah, man.
That's good.
She's been in there like 2 months, I think, and she doesn't really want to come out,
Why don't you just go to the accountability crib at DDP's house, man? He's got a rehab facility in his house.
Because it's a little different, She's a woman,
He's got women in his accountability crib, too.
Well, yeah. Well, I mean, it might work, but it's all up to her, Right now, she's in a rehab, and, it's amazing how Vince McMahon's actually put the bill, I guess, after what happened to China, he doesn't want another one of those, you know what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
Well,
but what do you think? How many days is Roman Reigns going to be suspended?
He's going to be suspended for 30 days, so I'm taking that Battleground's going to be the pay-per-view in 5 weeks. So that's, I think, a little over 30 days. So he might be on time for that championship match? I highly doubt it. I have a feeling that they're just gonna, eliminate him on the card, but we do not know right now.
Well, they just might punish him a little bit more than just suspension, by putting him down at the bottom again, because they worked so hard to put him up there, and for him to just disregard the pushy guy.
I just think it's a blatant disrespect for what he did, because if you think about it, they build him up so much. Yeah. The Rock and Sika pretty much got him in there in the company. He was playing for the Minnesota Vikings. He didn't make it in football, and then all of a sudden they built him as champion 3 times, and then he's really bad at his promos. He needs to work on his promos. Yeah. And it's ridiculous that Dean Ambrose, this guy worked his butt off from the beginning to the end. He worked in Indies. He did the Indies. Then he worked in WWE Performance Center. Then he did the NXT, and then he did now the WWE. He started off as a U.S. champ, Intercontinental, and WWE. He's a Triple Crown champion. Roman Reigns, he just started this tag team, and then boom, they hit the big one.
Well, I'll tell you one thing, man. The WWE and Vince McMahon and Triple H have to be happy that Seth Rollins is back, because if he wasn't back from that injury, what would they have done,
Right.
Unfortunately, they still got him to go up against Ambrose,
Yeah.
And they've been a team as a shield, so they know each other left and right in the ring,
Definitely.
But, timing was perfect for Reigns to be suspended at this time because Seth Rollins got back, and so there's some sort of main event, matchup that they can create out of that one and Ambrose. And right now, Rock's going to the UFC. Cena's still out. Randy Orton's still out. There's so many injuries and guys that are doing other things that they really needed Reigns to be on the straight and narrow.
Oh yeah. I'm actually happy that Bray Wyatt is back in the WWE, man. And you know what? He looks great. He lost a lot of weight. He looks fantastic.
Yeah. But what you think of the Money in the Bank? I didn't get to watch it all.
The Money in the Bank was actually a pretty good pay-per-view. I think that it's Rock and Roll James, babe. Anyway, Liz, my wife wanted to know who are we talking to on the radio, because we're doing the radio in the house, man. We send we send the tape to the station every Thursday.
I realized where that place was where y'all used to be at. What's it called?
It's the McAllen Incubator. It's the old McAllen Library.
The old library, yeah.
Yeah. I want you over one of these days. When do you want to come over to the house and we can do a live show here in the house?
Man, lately I've been up to my neck and stuff, man. With my band, bro.
I understand.
I'm recreating new banners. I'm recreating a new video and so far shows for the July. I'm working on marketing a contest that we're going to do on our website, whiskeydeeband.com. It's called the Whiskey Deep Backyard Concert and Barbecue.
Wow.
People will be able to register, and we will pick a winner, and we'll go to their backyard, and we'll put the stage, the sound, the lights, and the parks. So, and we're only going to do it for the counties from Alice, Texas on down. Corpus Christi can be eligible too. Laredo and the entire Rio Grande Valley,
Man, I'd love to tour with you, man. I'll help you with the meals, man. The meal planning. Would you like that? What do you think of the plates we send you, man?
They look pretty spiffy, man. They look high dollar, man,
Appreciate it, man. I would love to cook for you one day, man. I want to make you a nice meal.
Hell yeah. Well, I'll have to put a little thing together for the band and an appreciation thing and get you involved, man.
Yeah. Can you give me a no gloves on the radio live? We're not down with ARMBAR Radio. We're not down with Rock and Roll James. We got 2 words for you. No gloves. Can we say it? Can you give me a little endorsement?
You got it. Hey, Rock and Roll James. If you're not down with ARMBAR Radio, you got no gloves, man.
Here you go. 2 words for you. No gloves.
Yeah. All right.
But we love you, man. Thanks for supporting our show.
You too. God bless.
All right. Bye.
All right, Rock and Roll James live on ARMBAR Radio.
Did you put that on there already? Are you recording? Awesome.
I'm getting both shots, but this is it. We're wrapping up tonight. We'll see you later. We'll adios, guys.
Take it easy, guys.
Adios. Like I got me right there recording myself. Bye. I was doing like one of those live feeds that you can do from your phones also.
Oh, yeah. Are we still on the air right now?
Yeah, we're on here, but I'll kill it. Bye, guys. See you next week.
Bye, guys. See you next week. Hopefully it'll be an even better show.